Okay, now we got Rihanna as the owner or part owner of $2 billion companies, the first black woman to do so. Max B is free, and we finally got a Michael Jackson biopic. What's up, fellas?
What's happening?
So
What's happening, brothers?
Welcome back. We got a lot to talk about, man. Have y'all heard about any of these headlines that we got going on? Rihanna owning a or part owner of two companies that are worth $1 billion. The first black woman to do so. Did you hear about this, Wade?
yeah, I did. I think they've been saying Rihanna's been a billionaire for a while, so now 2 billion with Fenty and Savage Fenty. So that's good. It's amazing for us. So yeah.
I mean, this is big for black people all over, let alone a black woman, right, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's big for a black woman. I don't know that it's big for black people. I'd like to know what she's doing for the community, what she's doing for black people. I'm sure she's doing some things, but I think it's really dope that she's been able to be successful at something she's passionate about. And I'll say I've been to Barbados. I've seen the house she grew up in. It's very modest, little house in Barbados. And I saw where she stays at in Barbados now. Let's just say it's a lot less modest. Um, so it's beautiful to see, you know, somebody who truly is self-made, because most billionaires in America are not self-made. You know what I'm saying? They come from wealthy families. They get most of it through inheritance, or their parents give them loans for $1 million or $10 million, and they're able to build from there. But this was somebody who used their own sweat equity, their own, um, moxie and talent in order to build an empire. And I think it's dope for her and for her children. Um, and I'm waiting for my wife to make that $1 billion so I could be like ASAP and just be lugging the kids along. You know what I'm saying?
I wish that for you, man. I really do. But
I deserve
well,
a pampered life, Bobby. You know what I'm saying? I've been working hard.
yeah, that's true. I see you work hard. I see you work hard. But I would say that it's definitely good for black people too, as well as a whole, just on the inspiration side of things. And a lot of what you said, like to see where she came from and where she is now, like that's a huge difference. And I think that that's motivation for a lot of people out there, especially with the complexion that we have, who can easily be demotivated in so many different ways. So I think that's what I think is motivational to the people, and that's why I say it's good for our people. Because to make this much money, we know she's a singer, she's a great, talented singer, but to make money off cosmetics for a company that she's 50% the owner of, and it'd be worth like 2 point something $1 billion. And then the other line is lingerie. I don't know if you fellas have seen the lingerie at all or got any models to model it for you, but I assume
Nah.
that these lingerie items are very attractive. Have you seen any weight?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen any at all. And it's also great that because I know they said Kylie Jenner kind of lied about being a billionaire. So just like you guys said, it's good that she, her hard work and dedication, was enable her to make this type of money in these type of companies. So I mean, we need some music though, man. Like I've been waiting for some Rihanna music for a while. I mean, the Super Bowl concert was really good, but just waiting to get some more music. I know a lot of fans are waiting for that as well. I
Yeah.
see it every day. Yeah, you're a billionaire, but we want the music.
The crazy thing is Kylie comes from money and she out here lying about being a billionaire. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Wow. So any of you know who Aaron Magruder is?
Of course.
Of
Yeah,
course.
no, we went
Oh
to
yeah.
college
Oh
together.
yeah. University of Maryland.
Yeah. Yeah,
I didn't
no.
know he was a
No,
University of Maryland graduate and the same field as you, right?
absolutely. Yeah. African American studies. We had the same major. We overlapped a little bit, I met him on some occasions. I can't say that like we were homeboys or anything like that, but
Mhm.
he's a little bit older than I am. But I would say if we saw each other, he would recognize, he would be like, "Oh, I remember you." And yeah, so he was somebody that the department was very proud of for what he was able to accomplish. And I remember reading the old Boondocks when they were actually in the Diamondback, which is the school paper. And
Hmm.
honestly, that's when it was at its best, before it went to the Washington Post or anything like that. And I try to tell the students, I'm like, you see the cartoon, that wasn't nearly as good as the strip when he was writing the strip. That's when it
Mm.
was amazing because it was like biting social commentary. Sometimes I feel like the cartoon is just gratuitous use of the N word and just a little bit of sensational stuff where it doesn't really get to the social commentary and to the political commentary that it used to. But it used to be like funny like that, but still have that like black social commentary that was so valuable. So Aaron Magruder is incredibly talented, and I think it's anything he does, I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Dang. Okay. Well, yeah, back when he did that, those comic strips at University of Maryland, East, I mean, University of Maryland. I was gonna say my school, Eastern Shore, but University of Maryland. That was back in 1996. And then it got syndicated in 1999. And then the cartoon came not too long after that, and I love the cartoon, man. It is like an obsessive, I mean, excessive use of the N word, but I think that's, I mean, he comes from a place where, I guess in Chicago where they overuse the word. I've seen locations or lived in locations where they do overuse the N word. So did you watch any of the cartoons episodes? Wait.
Yeah, yeah, I watched some of the episodes coming up. I was younger, but I did watch some of those, and I heard he's writing for Last Friday,
Yeah.
so that'd be great to see. We all been waiting for that movie to come out, and as funny as the Boondocks was, and different topics, I'm curious to see how it's going to carry over to Last Friday. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I would
So
think that there's some culture, black culture, going to be involved with his side of the writer.
let me just say another connection that I have to Aaron Magruder is, I mean, his story is very similar for people from my neighborhood because he's from the same town as I'm from. He's from Columbia, Maryland. Um, and I think he was like born in Chicago, and then
Hmm.
as a child or a small child moved to Maryland.
Yep.
And I think a lot of us went through that. Like, Columbia, Maryland is a really strange place. You know what I'm saying? Like where I'm from is a really strange place. Um, and I think he got a lot of his ideas. If you watch the cartoon about Woodcrest, and particularly with his neighbor, the little biracial girl, and the interracial couple, that's totally, totally my neighbor, like where we're from.
Yeah.
And you know, it was actually a planned community that was made in part for as a haven for interracial couples and stuff like that. So for a lot
Hmm.
of us who were black kids, that our parents moved us there, and our experience up to that point was all inner city and all black. Like, I'm, before I moved to Maryland, I'm from Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I'm from West Philadelphia. So it's like all black, except there was an Asian, like an Asian store. Oh, the corner store was owned by Asians. Other than that, unless they were a bus driver, I really didn't come in contact with white people. And then, let alone, interracial couples and kids that were black, that looked black, but didn't identify as black the way I did. You know what I'm saying? So I never seen a biracial. I've seen biracial kids. There were biracial kids in Philly. Particularly like black and Italian, but they were always just black kids. Like everybody was just like, "Yo, that's a light skinned kid."
Hmm.
And when I got to Maryland, they were like, "No, I'm not like you. I'm biracial." And I was like, "What?" Like that can be really jarring to a lot of us, and that's what he was trying to get across in the cartoon, and that's why so many people like me identify with Huey, and you see. how someone who had that experience ended up doing what we do, which was going into black studies.
Hmm.
He majored in black studies. I majored in black studies because we were trying to find our people. And we were interested in black, black history, black culture. And, you know, so I could totally identify with Huey Freeman. You know what I mean? Like that was that was totally something I could identify with.
Yeah, that makes sense. That all makes sense. Yeah, thanks for that elaboration because I agree with you. I think that there is a difference between um, some most black kids in the inner city and the ones in the suburbs because I think the ones that grew up in the city and a lot of the ones I've seen, they don't say anything about being white when they're biracial, or they don't even know who's white in their family most of the time. So I think that is a difference between the upbringing of certain areas that you grow up in. But Aaron Magruder was once known as America's most dangerous black man because of his fearless commentary. So I don't know about how he felt about it, but I feel like that's a great title to have. I would love to have that
Yeah, hell yeah.
title. All right. Well, Max B is free. Wait, uh, what's up, man? I know you know a little bit about Max B. Did you listen to him?
Yeah, of course, of course, of course. Max B, man. I was introduced to Max B during the Jim Jones era, during the DVD era, and we used to buy DVDs, Smack DVDs, and on the come up DVDs and all that. So yeah, I'm happy he's home, man. I actually just took a trip probably like 2 years ago, me and my boys, and my boy loved Max B. He was playing Max B the entire time, man. Max B is a funny, typical New York dude, man. Still making jokes. Seemed like he didn't do a day in jail, man. Seemed like he didn't lose a step. Like still making jokes, still, just being Max B. So I'm happy he home, and I hope him and Jim Jones can like settle their differences and then make some good music. You know what I mean? Because it's a rumor. I don't know if it's a rumor or not, but they say that he wrote Ballin'. So what I mean, that was Jim Jones' biggest hit. So I think Jim Jones on fire right now. In my opinion, I feel like if him and Max B get back together, I feel like that'd be some good music. And I know you're a music guy, Bobby, so I know you probably looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I believe what if that he wrote the ball and hook because he's known for his hooks and melodies. That
Yeah.
was his whole thing, Max B. And I don't know, what his how guilty he was of any of the crimes. I'm not here to say anything of that, but he did 16 years. He was sentenced to 75 for robbery, and he did a plea on manslaughter. That's why he got out early. But what's your opinion? What's your take on this, Jason? He was locked up and sentenced in 2009. Now he's out.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of crazy when he got locked up. That's when the wave was popping off, you know what I mean? And everybody
Wavy.
was really excited about it. And, I don't know that him and Jimmy need to do music together anymore. Um, I think they can go their own ways. Jim uh seems like he's not interested in it. And I hope Jim, you know, continues to do what he's doing. And Max seems like he's really on a positive vibe, you know what I'm saying, right now. And I think he's got a whole lot of opportunities. I see people showing him big love. So, I think he doesn't necessarily need to go back and kick it with Jimmy. Um, and I'm certain that I know he wrote Baby Girl too, which is one of my favorite Dipset songs. That was my joint. Uh, a lot of those hooks, he was helping Jimmy with.
Hmm.
Um,
So
you
what's the
know,
problem? Are they beefing?
they've been beefing years. It's always over money. He didn't pay me enough, blah, blah, blah. Then, this is when the Coke Boys DVDs were coming out, you know, back with French Montana had the Coke Boy DVDs.
Hmm.
And a lot of people don't realize French wasn't really an artist. He was just like a gossip DVD guy. And that's when Max was talking about it and talking about his issues with Jimmy, and that's when it all went left after that. Um, but shout out to Max. I'll say this though, Wade, you can tell me what you think about this. What do you think about people who say we celebrate people coming home from prison more than we celebrate people coming home from college, or somebody who got a master's degree, or somebody who got a PhD, or somebody who just uh, finished 10 years at a company, or is going out and starting their own business, or whatever it is? Seems like there are some people who say in our culture we celebrate somebody who survives prison rather than somebody who's thriving on the outside more.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's more our culture. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's more our culture that do that. I think it's just people just happy to have their loved one back home, you know, free, not behind bars, and you got to constantly send money, uh, the phone calls, the visits and all that stuff. So maybe they just get tired of that, and they happy that their person is here. But yeah, I mean, so what do you think? We shouldn't celebrate it when they come home. It should kind of be shouldn't really celebrate them coming home after doing 16 years. You think what you think it should be like that?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, we should maybe have equal amount of celebration for somebody who just got a master's degree, or someone who just got a PhD, or what I'm saying,
Yeah,
somebody who just started a business. Like, it just feels like, you know, we're acknowledging, like, this is something I've said for a long time. I feel like there's a lot of like survival in our culture, you know, and surviving at a certain point, we got to turn our mindset toward thriving and rather than just survival. And prison is about survival, and it's like, hey, you survived. You know what I'm saying? You didn't you didn't get your face cut. Maybe you did. You know what I'm saying? But you made it home. You didn't die. Like,
Mhm.
I understand being happy to have a loved one home, but somebody coming home from the military, somebody coming home from college. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know about y'all, but like, I think about, like, on my mother's side, I was, well, technically my uncle who graduated on a GI Bill, who was probably 40. He graduated a semester before me, so I was kind of upset about that. But like, not counting him, I was the first person to graduate college in my family on my mother's side. You know what I'm saying? That should be something to celebrate. And I'm sure, I don't know if you were the first person in your family, but you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of us where it's like, yo, you breaking generational, barriers. Like,
yeah,
shouldn't that be celebrated? We should celebrate that.
yeah. I think it just depends on the family because I know me personally when I came home from college, we always celebrated. My family always got together. They always had something for me, whether it was like a dinner or just a get together. When I played overseas, when I would come home, we would do the same thing. We would have like parties and all that stuff. So I know me personally, my family did celebrate me when I was coming home from college. When I graduated from college, my whole family went up there, came up to St. Bonaventure and all that. So me personally, mine's did, but I know some don't. You know what I mean? Maybe most of their family members always getting locked up. That's the only thing they can celebrate. They don't graduate from college. You know what I mean? They don't graduate. They don't do anything with their life. You know what I mean? So that's all they can celebrate. You know what I mean? But we should change that, though. I agree.
Yeah. I also agree with what you said, Wade. I think it depends on the family. I think that some families feel like that's worth a huge celebration, and they probably are used to family members going to jail and being thrown in that system. And I think that a lot of families, deal with people being wrongfully accused, or, somebody doing what they had to do to survive and they got locked up. And I think that that's a lot of what it has to do with them celebrating. Okay, you made it home, you didn't get killed in jail, um, and you get to be with your family again.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this, like, on my dad's side, nobody celebrates it or don't celebrate it, massively because it's almost an expectation. Like everybody graduates. You know what I'm saying? So when it
Mhm.
becomes an expectation, it's not really, celebration worthy. And I think that's a good thing in some respects too. It's like, yo, we expect this of you. This is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I just think there is a glorification in our culture of jail, of incarceration. Um, and there are things that I think as a culture, this is the conservative side of me. There are things in our culture that I think we should promote, promote, marriage, promote education, promote, what I'm saying, like, uh,
Yeah.
the values that we want to see in our communities. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
not so sure that we should treat jail like it's like, coming home from summer camp. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
jail's a serious thing. It's a horrible place. I've heard stories from jail, and I'm just like, God, like, thank the Lord I didn't get into that kind of lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think that it's something that should be broken because it's generational. I think that a lot of black fathers went to jail, and it's like, well, my father did it, my grandfather did it, they went to jail, they did, and that's something that um, gets misinterpreted as being glorified. When they say my father went to jail and now I'm going to jail, and then it's
Yeah.
like so many black families growing up without the father in the household as well. So it's like something that we don't glorify the fathers that have stayed with the families or are with our family or their families every day because they did everything they could to do that.
Right.
Yeah. So we got this Michael Jackson biopic. Who's excited?
I'm excited.
I'm excited, definitely.
Yeah. They got Jafar Jackson playing Michael Jackson, and if you didn't know, that's Jermaine Jackson's son. So, and I think there's scenes where he looks just like him,
Yeah,
just like Michael.
it's clear they put something on his nose though. Like that ain't his
At
nose.
some point, yeah. I don't think that was on his nose the entire time, but I think that at some point they put something on his nose because you could tell the difference when you're watching the
Yeah,
trailer.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, this is
Um,
I'm excited too. I mean, they're spending 155 million dollars to make this movie. It's been in the works since 2019. What do you expect to see in this movie, Jason? What do you want to see in this movie about Michael Jackson?
yo, so if you watch the trailer real close, there's a part where they show like somebody throwing up a rag, like a flag. You know what I'm saying? Like a blue flag, like a Crip
Mm-hmm.
joint. And there's rumors that Michael Jackson was a Crip.
yeah,
Like he,
yeah, yeah.
like he was like they really put him on in the hood. So if they tell that story, I want to know. Yeah, and I'm sure they wouldn't show this, and I don't want to see this, but there's a rumor Michael Jackson beat up Tupac.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think they would show that, but if they do, that'll be amazing.
Yeah, I'm not looking for that. I don't listen. I think there's been too much Tupac slander already. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
one of the guys I think we should bring on the show.
we
Excuse me.
can't bring Tupac on the show.
No, we can't bring Tupac, but Jeff Pearlman just wrote a book about Tupac. And one of the big themes in his book is like Tupac wasn't a thug. He didn't know who he was. He was really like an art student
Yep.
and like an actor.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, you can be both. Like you can be an art student and a thug because the proof is in the pudding. Tupac shot two cops and got away with it. Like if that's not thug behavior, and people are like, well, he didn't know they were cops. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Imagine how many rappers that can you think of? And I know we talking about Michael Jackson, but I just want to say this real quick. Wade, how many rappers can you think of that if they saw a black man being harassed by two white dudes with guns, they would intervene and buck the two white dudes in Atlanta, Georgia.
Nah, they're gonna keep driving. They're gonna pull out their phones. We in a new day. They're gonna pull out their phones and record it.
They might not even do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine 50 Cent? Like, most gangster guy in the world, he would sit there and probably laugh. You know what I'm saying? Fat Joe would
Yeah,
tell a story about it. It would be a great story, but he ain't intervening. He ain't pulling out the gat.
right.
Tupac bucked the two dudes and they got
Yeah,
away with it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah,
and exposed the corruption of the police in the process. Like, that's gangster. That is so like, we can't say the dude is not gangster. You know what I'm saying? When he's done stuff like that. And so to me,
yeah,
it's like, yes, Tupac was an art student. Yes, he probably struggled with his identity because everybody does. And he moved around a lot and, all of that. But I think he also was, part of his identity was he was a gangster. And I'm wondering that about Michael Jackson, if he really was a Crip. And, Michael Jackson, I really do want to see the relationship with him and Joe, because we've heard about Joe and Joe's abuse. Um, and, I'm also curious as to how they treat, the allegations against Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Where
yeah,
people, in my opinion, were just trying to extort Michael Jackson. Um, and there's seems to be some evidence that exonerates him that really didn't come out until after he was dead. So I wonder how they're going to treat that situation or if they're just going to gloss over it. It's a complicated story to tell, you know.
mm. Well,
Um,
I know his daughter Paris said that the way they portrayed Michael was sugar coated. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm interested in finding out.
Sugar coated.
That's what she said.
Man, ain't nothing sugar coated except for Paris Jackson, because we know our parents ain't black.
Yeah,
That's one thing I always want. I'm like, why didn't Michael Jackson use his own sperm for his kids?
I don't know, man.
Because
Why didn't he tell it? Why didn't he tell anybody he was married until he was divorced? You just never know with Michael.
yeah. Well, his like the guy who was the donor came forward and said, "Yeah, I'm the donor. I'm the donor for Michael's kids."
Hmm.
And then you see the donor and the wife, and I'm like, you got the most like below average regular white people to donate. Like you didn't get uh I don't know, freaking Robert Redford or you know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to think of somebody in their generation, in that generation. Um or freaking Leo DiCaprio. Like you got like just the dude was fat and balding and middle aged. He needed some hair fibers and all of that. And I was like, yo, you got that guy to donate?
That's crazy.
But anyway, yeah, I don't know if what she means by sugar coated, but
No, I don't know. I don't know either. But
I don't
maybe
want to
we'll
see
find
anything
out.
that bashes Michael's legacy. He's been bashed enough. So if they sugarcoat it and they make it seem like Michael was an angel, I'm totally okay with that because he's been dragged through the mud in the most ugly ways publicly that I don't want to see that again.
Yeah. I mean, you do want to see him beat up Tupac, though. That's not really.
Yeah, but he's doing the beating up. I wouldn't want to see it if Pac was beating him
I'm
up.
just saying, you kind of contradicting. You want to see him be a crip, but then you want to see him be an angel.
No, I want to see if he got down with the hood. I don't want to see him doing a drive-by. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see him putting in work in the hood. I just want to see if he was a member.
Michael wrote, "I'm a killer, but don't push me." Just so you know.
Michael really wrote that?
I'm just
Oh, I
joking.
was about to say,
All right.
what?
So yeah, this movie is gonna be April 2026. The trailer hasn't even been a week, I don't think, and it's got 116 million views. The movie's gonna be 3.5 hours long. What are you looking forward to, Wade, and seeing in this movie?
First off, I really highly doubt that Michael Jackson beat up Tupac. Like I just don't see that happening. Regardless if we can say Michael Jackson, I know he wasn't no punk, but nah, you ain't beat up Tupac, dog. Let's stop that
He
right
grew
there.
up with
You
how
already.
many brothers? How many brothers was it?
Yeah,
I mean,
he got a lot of brothers,
yeah,
and he's
I
from
got.
Gary, Indiana. Like he ain't, he
I
ain't.
ain't soft. I ain't saying he's soft at all, but I just don't see him beating up Tupac. I think I don't see that, but. I mean, I've been the biggest Michael Jackson fan my whole life, so I can't wait to see it. I mean, the Jackson story was great, but that was about the whole family with the brothers and everything. The VH1 Jackson story, so I'm excited. I've been waiting for this. I mean, they've been like you said, Bobby. They've been teasing us with the trailer, with talks about it since 2019. So I'm glad it's finally done. I'm just counting down the days, man. I know I went to go see Straight Outta Compton like 4 times in the theater. I saw Tupac movie maybe 3 times. So I love these autobiographies, biopics, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm looking forward to it. Whatever they got. I mean, I don't think I don't think his nephew looks like him that much. He did a great job, but I don't really see it too much. I think the nose really messed it up a little bit in some scenes, but I think he's gonna do a great job in the movie. So I'm looking forward to it. Like I don't even know what to say. I'm looking forward to it. I know I'm gonna go see it like 3 or 4 times in the movie theaters. I don't know if it's 3.5 hours long. I may see it maybe twice, but I'm
Yeah, that's
probably
a
gonna
lot.
definitely go see it twice though. Definitely gonna go see it twice.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can. I understand why you would do that. It's long anticipated. Long anticipated. There were a lot of delays in the movie. Some legal processes, amongst some other things. So it's finally going. to got a release date, April. We'll talk about it in April.
Mhm. And they said it's going to be one of the biggest biopics ever, which
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, and I think I mean, because you got to bring in Lisa Marie Presley. You know what I'm saying? Who he married at one point. You
Oh
probably
yeah.
got to talk about Diana Ross has got to be in it. You got to have um, Liz Taylor. Like all those people played a pretty big role in his life. Barry Gordy.
Yeah. So Nia
Like,
Long is playing somebody. I just don't know who it is. I wonder who she could be.
mom, I think she playing the mom.
Really?
Playing
that
Nia
would
his,
Long
make
being his
sense.
mom?
yeah, they got her looking like an older woman. I think she playing Michael Jackson mom in the movie.
That would be cool. That'd be dope.
They see her playing a mom in the movie, man.
Yeah, I mean, she's a lot older now.
Uh, yeah, I mean, she ain't that old.
Yeah, she ain't like Friday or
Nah, she is though. She is.
Yo, yo, look,
we,
Lorenz Tate is in it. Lorenz Tate plays Barry Gordy.
I
Hmm.
saw him. I
She's
don't know if
playing the mom. Coleman Domingo is playing Joe Jackson. That kind of makes sense. Derek Luke is playing Johnny Cochran. Johnny Cochran is
That was Michael's lawyer, right?
Quincy Jones got to be in it too. Y'all forgot Quincy Jones.
Oh,
in
who's
it.
Quincy Jones? Quincy Jones Jr.
Maybe.
They got these other people I don't really know. Trying to see people I recognize.
I hope there's some new actors in there though. I hope it's not a lot of people that we know, because it's not going to seem as real. I hope it's like a couple of unknown actors in there.
Yeah. But sometimes those be the best movies when it's the unknown actors.
Yeah, like you wouldn't want to see Samuel L. playing his dad, man.
Oh, but yo, that
Huh?
would be believable. I
It
would
would be
believe
believable,
it because
but
Samuel looked like he whooped some. He don't whoop some kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm sure Samuel, whoever his kids are, they don't felt the belt before.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't seen the trailer out there, make sure you go watch it. You can go to my YouTube and it's on there. You can see my reaction to the trailer on YouTube, on my YouTube page, my channel. Now, Outkast inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, this is big. I know you're a big music fan, Jason, so I'm gonna start with you. Like, this is like pushing forward on the expansion of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, having Outkast, and I know they kind of mix the genres a lot of times, but this is right big, right?
Yeah, no, it's big, and I think it's dope. the Outkast, because they were such a pioneering group for Southern hip hop, which basically rules hip hop. All hip hop is Southern hip hop now. I feel like it's just outgrowths of Southern hip hop, and Outkast was really along with No Limit and all that, were really the ones that laid it down for the South. And who can forget when Andre said at the Source Awards that the South has something to say,
Mm.
and he was definitely correct about that. I heard a lot of people were disappointed because the performance, Andre didn't perform.
Mm.
It was just Big Boy, and they had some other dude doing Andre's verses.
They didn't let him bring his
And
flute in.
what's that?
They didn't let him bring his flute in. That's why he didn't perform.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Is that true? Like,
You know he does flute music and
yeah,
right.
no, I know. His last album was just like a flute, him playing the flute. And that's when I knew like some people were kind of biased because people were like, "Yo, I listened to the Andre flute, John. It was all right." I'm like, "Shut up!" I'm saying, look, you like Andre. I like Andre too.
I
It's like
like him
y'all with
too, man.
Kobe. Like, all right, it's dope, but damn, like he's dope, but that's not dope. Come on now.
Yeah, yeah. But I think it's great how they have gotten to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know if there's any other rappers there, but this is the first I've heard of, and I like that they started in their basement, basement studio, and like you said, they're pioneers of the Southern rap. I'm excited for this. Like it seems like, I mean, who's next? Lil Wayne? You never know. And Big Boy thanked Andre 3000 for pushing him lyrically, and they kind of like had that old school mentality of let's get in the basement and write the best verse for the song, and it was inspiring. I know you watched a little bit of it. Wade, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was great. One of the greatest duos ever. They have 6 Grammys, and it's a lot of artists who don't have a Grammy. Nicki Minaj, Snoop, Tupac, Biggie, Ice Cube don't have a Grammy. All that writing he did. DMX, the 2 platinum albums. What was it? 2 platinum albums, Jason, in 1 year.
Yeah,
Um, DMX, Busta Rhymes, Ja Rule, Rick Ross, Meek Mill. So to have six Grammys, one of the greatest groups ever. As soon as you said, I just thought that the song came in my head. Me and you. That's why I was bobbing my head. As soon as you started talking about, okay, I couldn't get that song out of my head. So uh, definitely they deserve it, and yeah, like well deserved.
What's your
and
favorite
yo,
Outkast song? Is that your favorite Outkast song? Wait.
Yeah, my favorite song. Yeah.
I think I just want to say for anybody who's listening, like people need to appreciate Big Boy more. He doesn't get enough appreciation. There's no Outkast without Big Boy. And a lot of people, if you ask them what their favorite Outkast album is, you know, you'll have some people who kind of got on a little late and they'll say like Speaker Box Love Below. But I would say if you listen to the first 2 albums, the
Yes.
first album was kind of even. They both was just so dope on that album, man. And to me, that's still my favorite Outkast album, Southern Playlistic. But the second album, AT Aliens, I thought Big Boy carried that album. That was
Yeah.
a lot of people say that's their favorite Outkast album, and Big Boy carried that album. And you
Mhm.
could tell all the choruses that Big Boy writes. The aha, what's that fuzz? Everybody move to the back of the bus. Like that's Big Boy. And even the me and you, your mama and your cousin too. That's totally Big Boy. That's all Big Boy. And people don't
Yeah.
appreciate Big Boy enough and make it all about Dre. And a lot of those choruses, that southern flavor, that was Big Boy. And so I think, I just want to take a second to appreciate what he has contributed.
I agree. I think he laid back and he just not really on the scene as much. So yeah, he just kind of got overshadowed by Dre, in my opinion.
Um, yeah, I think he got overshadowed because at some point Andre 3000 just switched it into a different. He went to a different level. He went to a different
Man, you know,
lyrically. I'm not saying that Big Boy can't compete or that he's not on the same level or wasn't on the same level, but at some point, Andre took off and hit a uh, a peak that it was like a lot higher, I think, lyrically than Big Boy.
I mean, to me, is like when
Wait
they
for you
were
to disagree.
together, and I felt like they didn't make enough music together towards the end.
Mm,
But like when they were together, they complemented each other. It was never, I never listened to a track like most groups. You listen to a track and you're like, oh, he was better than him on this track, or he was better than him. Whenever Outkast was together, it was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was catfish and grits. Like it was like something that just
but
went together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's kind of like I would relate it to the Clips.
yeah, yeah. A
Yeah,
lot of people, talk about Pusha, but when I hear Pusha and Malice together, I don't think of
yes.
one being better than the other. I think of like
No, they're on the same
the
level.
clips.
And there's verses where Malice is better. There's verses where Pusha T's better, and they complement each other, like we're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think a lot of young people don't realize um, how great Big Boy really is. You know what I'm saying? Like he said on that "I'm So Hood" remix, he's like, your boy, the B.I.G., I'm nicer than MC in your top three. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't realize, like, Big Boy is nice.
yeah,
And I think everybody, if you consider yourself an Outkast fan, you need to go back. If you're under 40, you need to go back and listen to Southern Playalistic. And you will realize how dope. When they both were on that player, they were both on the same vibe. Because the vibe really changed. When they both were on that Southern player vibe, Big Boy was every bit as good as
Andre.
Dre. It's just Dre got into some outer space stuff, and then he started dropping different kinds of jewels. And Big Boy was still on the slamming doors and pimping hoes. You know what I'm saying? Pimping hoes and slamming Cadillac doors.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I got something to put on my to do list then because I don't recall that album. I have to go back and listen to it because I am all about the Andre 3000 when he started. Like I was saying, like rapping about something different, more futuristic, and I just remember like even like when I was like I don't know either in high school or right after high school when he was doing all those remixes, like the Walk
Yeah,
It Out remix and all, like he was killing
yeah, was.
it. Yeah. All right, Wade, you've been keeping up with Cayenne Anthony. He's played 2 games at Syracuse already, averaging 17 points, 3 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and he's shooting at 66%. That's pretty good so far.
Yeah, nah, I like him. I think I want to say he got his first start, second game.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, he looked real good, man. Like looked like a young Mello. His pull up, his three, he getting to the hole. He handling the ball. He locking up a little bit. I think he's gonna be good, man. I'm liking how the freshmen get an opportunity, man. Most of the times, freshmen are on the end of the bench and they can't really get an opportunity, regardless of who your dad is, man. So I'm happy to see that he's out there doing his thing. Followed him all summer, the last two, well, really since he really became, got on the scene. Like I've been watching him doing the workouts at LA Fitness, man, and he was doing some grown man workouts at a young age. So I think he's more than ready. I think he's definitely not scared. He's playing with confidence. When he shoot the ball, he feel like they all gonna go in. You can just tell. And I think them some summertime workouts, playing with bigger guys, with NBA guys, because obviously his pops can get him with those type of workouts. He ready. He looked good to me, man. I hope he keep it up the entire year. I don't think he's gonna be one and done like Melo, but we never know. What if they win it all this year? You never know. But he looked good though. I like what I see so far, especially since he's so young as a freshman. Like I don't it looked like he ain't missed a step. He looked real comfortable. And they did play some teams that's not in their conference, but still, he's still doing what he's doing against grown men. So I like it.
So he's not like NBA ready yet.
I think he need to put on a little bit more size. He a freshman, so he need to put on a little bit more size. I think he's 6'5", 6'6", but he looked good, man. Let's see how the rest of the year go. He may be, you know what I mean? He may be. I mean, from what I see, he looked good. He looked good to me. I mean, you said he averaged 17 the first two games
Yep.
as a freshman. That's major, man. Like that's sometimes seniors and juniors don't even average that. Um, so he looked good to me. I don't know about NBA ready yet, but he looked good though.
Yeah. He's wearing the number 7 at Syracuse, Jason. 6'5", 185 pounds. Yeah, he can use some more weight, but that's a nice build right there for a college athlete.
Yeah, no, and I think he's going to be okay. One thing that I knew he was going to have was the confidence to shoot the ball, and he was going to have that killer instinct. He's Melo's son. So, if there's one thing he was going to learn, it was how to attack the basket, how to score, how to hit that turnaround jumper. So I knew he was going to be aggressive and he was going to try to score. So, is that going to translate to the NBA game already? Think it's way too early to say, and I think he probably would need 2 years. But and I think it would be to his benefit. And I think Wade is right. I think 6'5", 185. That's kind of slim. You know what I'm saying? Like unless you really are like Steph Curry and you just bombing threes from 40 feet, um, I think he should fill out a little more. And he's 18. You know what I'm saying? So he's got time. I would
Mhm.
say play 2 years of college basketball, keep attacking the basket, and you could be a scorer in the NBA. You don't want to be, you don't want to deal with the scrutiny that Bronny got. You know what I'm saying? And I think Bronny is a fine NBA player. He's just not a starter. He's just a role player, and that's where his career is going to be. He's going to be a role player for his entire career. But he takes scrutiny that other players aren't going to take. Like even stuff that doesn't even involve him. I see people online going after Bronny. And I wouldn't want to see that happen to Kai and Anthony. I know with Bronny, there was, I don't know if you guys saw this, but they had um what's the dude, Mac McClung?
Yeah, Mac McClung. I mean, that's what I was going to bring up is that I'll let you finish. Sorry, but
Yeah,
I'll just say he has some better stats during the NBA tenure.
yeah, like he's been bouncing around, he's been getting waived and all of that. And you know, there's people out there like, oh, it's because Mac McClung is white, or which is ridiculous, by the way.
No, of course
It's the
not.
stupidest thing ever. But or oh, it's because LeBron is, Bronny's dad, and
I don't know. That could be it. I mean, Matt McClung is very athletic. He's put up more points than LeBron James Jr. in the NBA. So I don't know, man.
yeah.
And
I
plus,
mean,
I,
I
I
think
like
they're
McClung.
both
He's from Virginia.
they're both very athletic. It depends on what you want from your player. And is Mac McClung playing as good a defense as Bronny? Nobody wants Bronny to go out and score, 15 points. I don't think he'll ever do that in his career. I think, JJ Redick wants Bronny to go out and facilitate, maybe handle the ball a little bit, but for the most part, just play tough defense and beat some extra fouls. And if Mac McClung can't do that and people are blowing by him, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's no good if he can. I mean, they don't care if he can score. That's not what they got Mac McClung for. So it's what your role is. And if Mac McClung wasn't playing his role, but he can go and score you a bucket every now and again, they're like, there are lots of guys that could do that. That's not what we're looking for from you. And
Well,
so
yeah,
I
I
don't I
mean,
don't think it's a comparable thing. Um,
so you just think it's dependent on what the team is looking for.
right.
Yeah.
They don't look
Well,
for role players because they're great scorers.
well,
That's
I
not
mean,
what.
he was on the Bulls, and the Bulls had needed a score, so I don't know why he got cut from there.
Yeah, but he can score, but is he a great scorer in the
No,
NBA?
no. But what I'm saying is compared to neither is Bronny. That's my point.
But
it depends on what he can do and what they need him for, like you said. But they don't need they. Matt McClung is not needed on any team to be a great scorer. I think you know.
right, but that's my point. Is I think his game is take you off the dribble or shoot a open, shoot a three or whatever. And teams are like, yo, we just need you to play defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it hard for this guy to get the ball up the court. Like, that's what we're looking for. And if he's blowing by you, it doesn't matter that you can score. Like, that's not what we're looking for from you. We got guys that can score that we pay, you know, $20 million a year. We just want you to D people up. And that's where Bronny, I think, has gotten comfortable in his role. Like, is just to really play tough defense, make it difficult, and yeah, if you're open, you can shoot it. Or you can, in transition, get a transition dunk. Bronny's never going to score 25 a game. I don't think he's going to score 15 a game.
Nah,
At
I don't think
most,
so either.
you'll get 10 a game. He'll be like Terry Rozier without the gambling. You know what I'm saying?
What's your input, Wade?
Um, what were we speaking about? We speaking about Bronny or McClung?
Jason changed the conversation to Bronny.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't know what to say about Bronny. I really don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. McClung, I think he said he feels like an NBA prostitute because he just keeps getting jumped around from team to team to team. I mean, but that even happened in college, man. He was at Georgetown and he went to another school, right? I forgot the school he transferred to
The
from Georgetown, but
Texas Tech Red Raiders. I don't even know.
yeah, he just been jumping around. But at the end of the day, man, you got a jersey, man. I think he what 3-time NBA dunk champion.
Yeah.
So I mean, like you got an NBA jersey for your kids. You got probably 10 jerseys now you can hang up in your man cave. You know what I'm saying? the three, I'm sorry, them slam dunk trophies. So I don't know, man. With Bronny, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard to say. I can't really get a good feel. I saw the G League highlights. He looked good, but NBA is. I don't know. I just don't think he's confident, or he's just scared. He has the same. He has that same thing that a lot of players have when they play with LeBron. Like they scared, they can't play their game. Then they go to other teams and they flourish. But I mean, imagine what Bronny's going through. That's his dad. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think maybe he needs to be on a different team, not with LeBron. I don't know. I just feel like he's just not comfortable. Like he's second guessing himself.
He's not going to be a Laker forever. I know that.
I think they're going back to the Cavs, man. I think they're going to end up trading Bron and Bronny to the Cavs for something. I feel like they're going to go to Cleveland, man. They said Bron has been training with the G League team, but I don't know how that's going to work, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really looks like the Lakers have a lineup right now that's working for them, and I don't know how Bron figures into that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
JJ Redick, if he's able to work LeBron in to that rotation and make it work, um, he'll be coach of the year. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a tough thing to do.
See, but that's my thing. Is like we are. Let's shine light on this. The fact is, you're saying he's going to be coach of the year because he's using Bronny James and worked him into the. It's because it's Bronny James. If he had Mac McClung and he was a great defensive player and he worked Mac McClung into the Lakers defense and made him play great defense, are you going to say he needs to be coach of the year because he used Mac McClung or because he
No,
used Bronny?
well, no, I'm not even saying anything about Bronny in terms of being coach of the year. I'm saying that he's gotten so much out of basically all those white dudes. I mean, I hate to say that, like, what is it, Jake Lavaria or whatever that guy's name is? I didn't even know who that guy was. And then you got Dalton Connect and of course, Luca, but also
I think Dalton Connect
AR.
kind of checked out, but yeah, I know what you mean. Like he has all of them working together, but it comes from one of the special white coaches that played in the NBA, JJ Redick. I mean, he was a great white man player himself, so maybe he got all these white guys to come together and like, yo, he showed them the tricks of the trade. They
And I
both.
Yeah,
think that's why he sees something in Bronny. It's not because it's LeBron's son. I think he sees like a player who he can mold to be like JJ Redick, who is a guy who was like a bubble starter, but most of the time like kind of more of a bench player who could
Yeah.
come off, hit a three when needed, and play good defense. Like he was not, you know, JJ Redick was never an all star in the NBA that I recall. You know,
No,
he
he
was
wasn't.
just
He had some
like
good years in Orlando, but I don't think he made
yeah.
the All Star team.
And with the Clippers, he had some good years. I think people forgetting too though, like when LeBron come back, LeBron gonna be in that lineup, man. A lot of people were saying he gonna come off the bench. Ain't no way he's coming off the
No,
bench, man.
who would
Let's not
even
forget.
believe that?
Let's not forget. Like I'm not trying to take nothing away from JJ, but let's not forget how JJ got the job. I mean, I ain't trying to say it like that, but I'm just saying like. You know what I mean? Like y'all remember the show that LeBron and JJ had before, and all of a sudden JJ the coach and all that stuff. So that's LeBron, man. So LeBron gonna be in that lineup once he gets back 100%. So
Yeah.
we're gonna see how the chemistry is once that happens.
Well, yeah, I will say this way: don't hesitate or be afraid to say anything. They're LeBron and JJ not watching, so
JJ a cool dude, man. JJ a cool dude. Like I said, that's he my year, man. Like JJ is a great guy, man. I don't want to say he got the job because of
say it, man.
he's a
It's on your heart.
I mean, I think a lot of times like but even if he did, I think teams hire coaches that they know can get along with and work with their star player.
Right.
Like that's not a new thing, you know what I mean? And so I think it's the same sort of thing here where it was like they saw, you know, LeBron was their star player at the time and they needed somebody who LeBron could work with. And it was JJ.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I only say that because there's a lot of controversy about Sam Cassell, a lot of coaches, Ty Lue, couple guys who were they were saying should have got that position who really been coaching and putting in
Ty
work.
Lue made his decision. Ty Lue didn't like
Yeah,
what the Lakers were talking about. He decided to kind of like be a jerk and go to the Clippers. So that's
yeah,
I'm not even mad at that. Let him do his thing.
yeah. Yeah. But it was a couple of players who they were saying. I mean, a couple of coaches who they said should have got that job. So that's the
Yeah,
only reason why.
I understand what you're saying. All right, one last thing before we go. Um, it looks like Jake Paul is going to fight Anthony Joshua. Now this is more weight wise, more even. But I think Anthony Joshua, like I don't know how scripted these things are, but Anthony Joshua should win. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah. I mean, if Anthony Joshua is that washed that, you know, he loses to Jake Paul, then it's like, yo, I would just, but still, I would still lean to the fact that Anthony Joshua is incredibly washed more than I would lean into the idea that Jake Paul is really great. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
we haven't seen Anthony Joshua win a fight in a long time. And I also think, you know, Jake Paul, he could have fought Francis Ngannou. That would have been a good fight. I would have watched that. But he realized Francis Ngannou, I think, is maybe not, he's not the same draw. And he also punches really, really, really hard. You know what I'm saying? And he was like,
Mhm.
I'll take my chances with AJ. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Um, I hope they don't do the whole like they do it like a legit fight, 3 minute rounds, um, and you can get knocked out, and it's a real boxing match. And I think if it's like that, I think
That's if it's a real boxing match. Like that's like you're
yeah,
saying, like it got to be a real boxing match. And then yes, Anthony Joshua was washed, but he still only lost one out of his last 5 fights. So
yeah. I
I
mean,
think he has a
one of
good
them was
chance to beat
against
Jake Paul. Just a
Francis
real fight.
Ngannou. Like
Hmm?
one of them was against Francis Ngannou, who's an MMA fighter. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I mean, he did win that. That was last year. But
And when he got in there with a real fighter who really hits hard, he got
Yeah.
flattened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what's that? What was that? Du Bois,
Yeah, that was
Daniel. Yeah, of course he's
yeah,
gonna beat
Daniel Dubois
Anthony
or whatever.
Joshua. Yeah, Daniel Dubois. Yeah, he's gonna beat Anthony Joshua. So I don't know. Wait. What do you think? Anthony Joshua is 28-4, a real professional fighter. Does Jake Paul have a chance?
I doubt it. It's definitely gonna go viral though. All the Jake Paul fights go viral. They generate a lot of money, so I think this is kind of turning into the WWE, man. Like you said, unless it's gonna be a real fight, I don't really want to see it, man. Because like the Mike Tyson thing, how Mike Tyson couldn't knock him out. It was a couple times Mike Tyson could have threw that punch and knocked Jake out, but he couldn't do it. He had to hold himself back. He kept biting his glove. So nah, I don't think Jake Paul will win this fight. But they'll make some good money. Um, Seem like that's what boxing is turning into now, just money grabs.
Yeah. And Jason, Shakur Stevens versus Teofimo. That's a good fight. I mean, Shakur's what 24-0. Teofimo only has one loss on his record. He got 13 KOs. What do you think? I mean, I know. I mean, I know. I think I got Shakur, but what do you think?
Yeah, I got Shakur, but it's a good fight. Like it's one of those ones where I have Shakur, but to me, it would not like shatter the planet Earth if Tiafimo wins that fight. Um,
Mm,
I I believe Shakur will win, but Tiafimo is a hell of a fighter. He's
so,
fast, he's strong, he's athletic.
mm,
Um, the only times that he doesn't perform well is because he's lazy.
mm,
So we'll see how it turns out. But I would have Shakur. Shakur is not lazy. Shakur is a masterful fighter. Um, but I don't know that Shakur, when you look at Shakur's record, if he's fought anybody at the level of Tiafimo. And that's not his fault because a lot of those dudes duck Shakur.
mm,
But I'm trying to think of who on his record is even in Shakur. I mean, is in Tiafimo's like realm, and there's nobody there. Now, Shakur has called all those guys out. He's tried to get fights with all of them. He tried to fight Tank. He tried to fight Devin. You know what I'm saying? He's tried to fight these guys. Um,
mm.
and a lot of them don't want to fight Shakur because they realize how good Shakur is.
Yeah. I mean, when we talked last episode, I think that we had him in our. I know he was in our top 10. He might have been in our top 5. That's
Oh
why I'm
yeah.
wondering why you wouldn't be surprised if Teofimo won because he's not in our top 10 at all.
No, but Tiafimo at his weight class, at 140, I guess they're gonna fight at. Like Tiafimo is top 3 in that weight class. And, when you look at his physical gifts, he's got all the skills. You know what I mean? He's fast, he's strong. Looking when you watch him fight, he does things that a very, very skilled boxer does sometimes. Like, I've seen him, for example, one time a guy threw a jab and Tiafimo timed it and punched his bicep. You know what I'm saying? And then came over top with his left hand. And I'm like, that is like really, really skilled boxing. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like average dudes don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I say all that to say, I would give it, 65-35, but 35 is still, that still gives him a good chance.
Yeah, I mean, that'll make me think twice on DraftKings when I'm making my bet at 35 cents. So I get where you're coming from. And then last fight we're going to talk about Jamel Charlo versus Caleb Plant. Um, those are two good fighters as well. Charlo has lost 2 fights. Plant lost only 3 fights. They don't lose often, but they both lost to Canelo. What
Oh,
do you
this is
think?
Jamel. For some reason, I was
Jamel.
thinking it was Jamal.
Yeah, that's why I had to make sure I said Jamel. Yeah.
Ah, it's Jamel. Yeah, because I saw it earlier, and I just assumed it was Jamal because him and Jamal got beef. They've
Oh,
been
okay.
beefing for a long time.
Yeah.
Because he punched Jamal. Because Jamal kept like grabbing his beard, and he punched him. Yeah, that's a pick'em fight. I go either way with that.
What would you say, 50-50?
I'd say it's 50-50. I'm going to give a slight edge to Jamel, but that all depends on where Jamel's head is. Like, their Charlos, their worst
Caleb.
enemy is themselves. It's not their skill or anything. So, and I think Caleb Plant is more focused. So if I were just going off of skill, I would probably go with Jamel.
Yeah.
But all things considered, I probably would give it a little more to Caleb Plant because he's a more focused person.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a tough fight, and then like Jason said, it depends where Jamel Charlo's mind is. And then Caleb, the few fights he lost was like to good fighters, David Benavidez, Canelo. So this should be a tough fight, right, Wade?
It's gonna be a good fight. I'm gonna go with Jamel though.
Okay. No, without a doubt, you're just gonna pick him.
Go with Jamel. Yeah.
Okay. You just going with ain't he's from Maryland, right?
Yeah.
That's probably
They
what
from there.
that's that had a lot to do with it, right?
My
Wait, who's
team.
from
Yeah.
Maryland?
Ain't the Charlo brothers from Maryland?
Nah, they're from Texas.
Oh.
Oh, you're not from the DMV?
Who are the
Yeah.
twins that are from Maryland?
I don't know. I hate the Charlos. Charlos are from Houston.
Oh,
Um, I think. I mean, Gary Russell and them, all the Russell brothers are from Maryland.
hmm.
Let me check this one.
Yeah, the Charlos are from Houston.
Okay, I believe you. What am I thinking about? Oh, Justin and Jason Bell. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, I don't even know them, but I can tell you Gary Russell and Gary Antoine Russell, they're all from Maryland.
yeah, they are. They're not twins though. I was thinking about these twins.
Okay.
But all right, fellas. We got to make sure that everybody likes and subscribes to our channel. The numbers are going up. We need them to go up. We need them to double this time. I know Wade is keeping track of the Instagram.
We over
But I'll get
200 yet?
Nah, we had 197, so we had
Oh,
one
we
new
almost
follower last episode. So we'll take the one.
okay.
All right.
All right.
One. We'll take
I'm sure we'll have 3 more people after this week.
for sure.
I'll follow and make it one more. No, I'm joking.
All
Hit that bell notification. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.